Stop number 6 of the Samsung Galaxy Championship Tour. We're in the last heat of the second round of competition, and this one features event wildcard Dusty Payne, injury replacement wildcard Stu Kennedy, getting the call up late to the Fiji Pro, and now enjoying the action here at the J-Bay Open. During the break, Peter, Dusty got started.
Little runner peak for Dusty Payne, getting warmed up here in the early stages of this heat, looking spicy, carrying a ton of speed. Loving these maneuvers, riding those Jason Stevenson model surfboards and having a good time doing it.
Dusty going down on that finish there. He's been on that JS program for a long time. Dusty got a 5.67 on his first wave, and this one's stretching out down the line, and Payne's going to take advantage of it. Big arc to start. Dusty frames it up off the lip. Harder off the bottom. Couple little sticky points there for Dusty, but he's looking to recover. Still fighting through that last section. That's going to go into his top 2 for the time being. All that can go into your mind on a wave like this.
Well, I think one of the things that is so nice about surfing in general is that it does take you to living the moment instantly. And I guess if sometimes what will happen is that you'll start thinking about what type of turn you want to do, and that'll affect your surfing, when in reality you should just be letting it almost go by feel. I don't know if that's what happened there. I think there was, you can see in the lip, there was some ripples in the face, and it affected what he did there. But I mean, that's what, like I said, one of the things that is so nice. It heavily affected that score. I mean, judges did not like the slight mistakes there, taking note and only giving it a 3.67.
Payne's going to try to surf through to better that score. Starts with a carve, a lot of pep in his step as he rips one off the lip. Looking nice and solid so far. Powers through that section off the top. And now a little speed run through the inside. He'll start with a float. Into a snap. Final blow. He ends up losing the handle.
Where he's grown up surfing. You know, he wants to grab those type of waves because they'll be the ones that are going to barrel or you know, stay in line. But here they shut down really quickly.
Him just maybe not knowing the wave well enough to really perform. Right now we're going to see if he can start his campaign and really just get into this thing. Come off the bottom, snaps it off the top right there. Coming around to the inside corner, bang again. Let's see what he's got around this thing on. Snaps it up into the top. Really not unloading the turns we want to see. He's going to get one. There it is. That's what we like to see. Attack that thing. Late hit right there. He's going to pull it out, though. He's looking strong. You know, definitely kind of timing, I feel like, was just a hair off on that one. But he did have one really great turn where he attacked the lip, and I think the judges are going to love that. You know, they like to see him finish strong, too. I'm not too sure if they're going to deem it a completed wave at the end. But look at these turns he's doing. You know, he's a little bit behind, comes around the corner, smashes it again right there. This one right here, though, I believe this is the turn. Bang, right up into the bowl. I like that. I love to see, you know, him really attacking it right there. And then he falls kind of off the back of the board to end the wave. So, you know, that's going to hinder the scoring potential.
Well, Strider, we're checking out a couple of his big turns on the replay again from your angle as well, as he was trying to fight for the finish on that last maneuver. One thing, you know, you've seen these guys, one of the best point breaks in the world, obviously a bit colder than those venues. We've got the bricks on the inside. We're at the low tide now as we check out Dusty Payne out front. A couple of 5s so far. Deep float, he's down.
You know, take a look here. I feel like he got extended. You know, he wanted to compress, and when you extend, you can kind of unweight, and it keeps the board flowing down the line, but not able to get out in front of the explosion. And so when you're unweighted like that, you can get off balance really easily. Straight off balance, goes down.
Now coming back into this season, almost like a Sebastian Zietz feel of thought he wasn't going to compete this year at this stage, and now really enjoying the moments. Payne looking to recover from that last wave. Looking really lively through the white water. Another big hack off the top. He'll catch up to some clear water. Huge carve out front. The Hawaiian on fire. Blows the tail out. So far, absolutely solid on this approach. Carves it off the top, looking for the big finishing move. Payne's fired up. Kennedy's on the next wave. Stu dealing with a lot of foam on the face from Dusty's ride. He'll end up kicking out of the finishing move. And we'll see what he had out the back in just a moment. Remember, wild cards keep their points on tour, so this should be a very important wave. Let's take a look.
And there it was, right, where he unweighted and he kept the momentum down the line and put him in perfect position for that attack of the lip. And then this opening up, just big arc, ton of speed through the turn, and then another vertical approach into the lip. Very difficult. This wave was just an opportunity that he did not want to waste, and he didn't. That's going to be in the excellent range for sure. Could be upwards in the 9s. We'll see.
Then also out the back, the next wave, this was Stu.
So Stu had to deal with a bit of a whitewater here, but nice and steep on the outside. Nice carve, but then this wave just goes into some funkiness and not a lot of opportunity for any real turns. Sets up the inside here just to kind of finish up. But he would have wished to be on Dusty's wave, I'm sure, but he was just too far outside.
See Kennedy just running out of room on the inside corner. And Dusty Payne absolutely capitalizes a 9.77. Deserves it big time. Let's take another look.
I mean, it must be really hard to have to surf, in events like that. Or maybe it's easier not knowing if you're going to be in. You don't have to think about it too much. But I mean, again, everything was set up by that first move, and then it just turned the corner, and this was the wall that he had to deal with. It was super easy to surf, really. I mean, when you are sitting off the bottom, you don't have to push too hard. You know you're not going to have to chase it. Everything was there for him. And then even the finish connects with the lip. That felt good for Dusty.
One of the best waves of the contest unfolding with Dusty Payne against Stu Kennedy. And you love that first maneuver. How did that one go down?
Well, I mean, if you talked about, that floater maneuver, but it's also sometimes it is used as a transition maneuver to get him to the best part of the wave. And had he, you could see he almost faltered slightly, but that was what he's trying to do, was unweight so he can get out in front of that explosion. And when he did that, he carried all that speed right into the section where it actually opened up and gave him the best opportunity to score.
Who would stay at that same house just down the way. Jordy Smith almost never comes down to the competitors area because he likes hanging there to keep it cool and relaxed. He's coming up next against Andino in round 3. Stu Kennedy now fighting through at a very important wave as he needs a 9.01.
And it looks like that opportunity is going to be right into the lap of Dusty Payne.
Dusty has to be pinching himself. Uncrowded lineup at J-Bay, battling at the top level of the sport, already with a 9.77. Throws a big wrap off the top, takes him a minute to ride out of it, but now he'll recover on the open face. Using a big part of the wall. Nice jam off the top. Arcs through another top turn wrap. And now hammering the finishing section. Picking off one of the bigger waves of the matchup.
That nice overhead bomb coming your way. You can't help but get anxiety. See here, he gets up and over, nice float. This is the second turn, I guess, is where he got a little stuck right there. He tried to turn it up in the lip, but recovered all right. Comes out with some speed, and then that arc, beautiful. Sets up again, straight up hook. More opportunity again. Gets a little loose. And then the finish. Punches the fins out the back. And that will improve his situation. Again, that's that point where he got a little stuck. Kept it together though, kept his composure, didn't let it frustrate him. I mean, I guess when you see a wall down the line, it doesn't really hurt that much, especially when you unload on turns like this. Nice work by Dusty, and when things start to go your way, they just keep going your way.
Dusty Payne already with the 9.77, last wave a 7.7.
With a big win here, he's going to be a low seed, so he might actually turn around and surf the next heat, right? Or maybe not. No, he's sitting at 19th.
Watching Stu Kennedy take a ride in. We'll take a look at that round 3 and let you know where Dusty will be surfing in just a moment. Kennedy letting out some steam on that finishing section. Suffering another 25th this season. We know Kennedy will have a lot more call-ups this year due to the injury from Beat Durbridge that Beat suffered at Pipeline. Beat starting to come back to form.